What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are continuing our playthrough of Dracula Curse of the Vampire by Jonathan Green. In the previous part we went on a mission to hunt down all of the vampires that were in Carfax Abbey and Carfax House in the 50 coffins or so. We killed a little bit less than half of them, so I guess we're going to be finishing off the rest of them and hopefully making our way to Count Dracula himself to finish the job. So let's get straight into it.
You would start?
You start, you always start.
I know, but one day you're going to be like, oh no, I'll start.
Maybe.
With the destruction of the last of the living corpses, it seems as if some evil presence has quit the place. You feel your spirits rise as the shadow of dread slips from you like a robe. Deduct 1 point from your terror score.
Nice,
You didn't
good
do
start.
this last place, last.
No, we'd never read this page.
Okay.
It's too long. Terror down to 17. Yay!
Still high. Now we understand the Count's plan all the better, Van Helsing muses as he surveys the dismembered corpses that lie amongst the broken boxes. He seeks to conquer this fair isle, and he brought an army to England to help him accomplish his goal. He wishes to tear down the established order and build an empire of the undead in its place. His old warlord habits have not left him. That makes sense now. I wondered why he was... He's trying to build an army, isn't he?
Yeah.
You exchange horrified looks with your companions as the terrible truth that has been revealed to you starts to sink in. But come, the professor goes on, we must finish our work here to ensure that Dracula can never resurrect his Strigoi to fight for him again. Taking a tinderbox and matches from his bag, utilising the splintered planks of the broken boxes in which Dracula had hidden his vanguard of the undead, he prepares for each of you a blazing torch, and between you set about creating a number of bonfires within the chapel. The boxes and bodies already starting to burn, you leave the chapel, closing the door behind you, and quit the accursed Carfax house. The morning is quickening in the east when you emerge from the shadowed entrance hall. Our night has been eminently successful, Van Helsing declares, smiling broadly. Our first and perhaps our most difficult and dangerous step has been accomplished, without troubling Madame Mina's waking or sleeping thoughts with sights and sounds and smells of horror, which she might never forget. And we know that 21 boxes have been moved from Carfax House. Our priority now must be find those remaining boxes and cleanse them of all that might lie hidden within. Turn to page 20. So we've got 21
left.
vampire coffins to find.
What was that symbol? What was the symbol?
Was that our symbol?
So I'll show you this, guys. We did show it at the beginning, I think, but there are symbols in the book that if it shows up for your specific character, you skip by 10 or something, and then you go to the correct
I think we
page.
should just double check what Jonathan's symbol is.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Is it a cross?
Right.
A cross.
Okay, Jonathan's
oh yeah,
right.
Jonathan is a cross. So if a cross pops up, yes, yeah. So we stay on this page.
Well
with
remembered,
Dracula's.
Thorn, well remembered.
The asylum is silent when your party returns, save for some poor creature who is screaming away in one of the distant wards, and a low moaning sound coming from another wretch's room. The poor soul is doubtless torturing himself after the manner of the insane, with needless thoughts of pain. You tiptoe into your own room and find Mina asleep. She's breathing so softly that you have to put your ear down to hear it. She looks paler than usual, and you hope the meeting tonight did not upset her too much. You settle down to sleep on the sofa so as not to disturb her. I can see what's happening here.
What?
You are truly thankful that she's been left out of your future work and even any of the deliberations. It is too great a strain for a woman to bear. It is only to be expected that you would oversleep, for the previous day was a busy one, and the night had no rest at all. Even Mina must have felt its exhaustion, for though you sleep until the sun is high, you are still awake before her and have to call several times before she stirs. Having breakfasted, you leave your wife in Dr. Seward's safekeeping.
That's such a good word.
Which are breakfasted.
Breakfasted.
That
I'm
means
gonna use it all the
We've got to
time.
have good breakfast tomorrow, so we can say
I've been breakfasted, my lord.
I've been breakfasted. You leave your wife in Dr. Seward's safekeeping and set off for London once more, determined to find out what happened to the 21 boxes that were missing from the chapel of Carfax House. You know that 50 boxes of earth were received by Mr. Billington in Whitby, and that these were passed on to Carter Patterson, who was responsible for having them delivered to Purfleet. The question is, who then took 21 of these boxes away again? Where did they take them? The vital clue required to solve this mystery is amidst Mina's transcriptions of Dr. Seward's phonograph cylinders, specifically in a report made by his colleague Dr. Hennessy. The carriers who came to take the boxes away were involved in an altercation with one of Dr. Seward's patients, who had managed to break out of the asylum. Thankfully, Dr. Hennessy took their names and addresses in case they might be needed. The men you need to interview are Jack Smollett and Thomas Snelling, who are both in the employ of Harris & Sons, moving the shipment company, Orange Masters Yard, Soho. Upon arriving in London, you must make your way first to Mr. Snelling's house and then to Mr. Smollett's, interviewing each in turn, but what they tell you only confirms what you had started to suspect yourself. Dracula has had the missing boxes of earth transported to the very properties you aided him in purchasing around London. You return to Purfleet later that evening, much to your wife's delight. After dinner, while you meet with the others again in Dr. Seward's study to discuss developments, Mina retires to bed complaining that she feels terribly tired, the poor dear. Your meeting is soon interrupted, however, when a wild yell from the ward below brings Simmons, one of the hospital's attendants, to Dr. Seward's study. "Come quickly, Doctor," he says breathlessly, having run here as fast as he could. "It's Renfield. He's been involved in some kind of accident." Into 676.
What was that word? Was it breakfast?
Breakfasted.
Breakfasting.
Breakfasted.
Breakfast.
You've been breakfasted. One for the vocab.
Oh no.
What?
This page is it's like 6 pages.
Should we split it?
Yes.
You do that page and I'll do like half the next
Yeah.
one.
Okay. Yeah, we're ready for
I would
them.
imagine that breakfasting would work too. It's just your breakfast as a verb and just having past and present tenses.
Breakfasting. So good.
I like breakfasted. It's like
I've been well breakfasted.
when you sat there like holding your belly because you've eaten full English.
Oh, fully
I've been thoroughly breakfasted, my love.
breakfast me.
I still breakfast. Okay, back to it.
Renfield is lying in his cell in a glittering pool of blood.
Oh no.
It is immediately apparent that he has received some terrible injuries. His face is horribly bruised as though it had been beaten against the floor. "I think his back is broken," Simmons says. "See, both his right arm and leg and the whole side of his face are paralysed. But how could such a thing happen is a mystery to me. He could have damaged his face like that by beating his own head on the floor. I saw a young woman do it once at Eversfield Asylum before anyone could lay hands on her, and I suppose he could have broken his neck by falling out of bed if he got in an awkward kink." Too much breakfasting.
Don't do it, Steve. Don't do it.
But for the life of me, I can't imagine how the two things occurred together. Renfield is breathing stertorously.
Notoriously.
Another indication that he had suffered some terrible injury.
Renfield's a freak.
But then suddenly his eyes open and become fixed in a wild, helpless stare. "I've had a terrible dream, and it has left me so weak that I cannot move," he whispers weakly. "What's wrong with my face? It feels all swollen and it smarts dreadfully." He tries to turn his head, but even that slight effort causes his eyes to grow glassy. "Tell us your dream, Mr. Renfield," Van Helsing says in a quiet, grave tone.
"Give me some water, my lips are dry, and I shall try to tell you." Quincy hurries off, but soon returns with a glass and a decanter of brandy. His parched lips moisten, the patient revives a little. Fixing you with a piercing look of agonizing confusion, he says, "I must not deceive myself. It was no dream, but all a grim reality." His eyes suddenly start roving the room. "Quick, doctor, quick. I'm dying. I feel like I have but a few minutes. Wet my lips with brandy again. I have something that I must say before I die." More brandy is offered, and the wretch begins to tell his tale of woe. It was that night after you left me, Dr. Seward, when I implored to let me go away. I couldn't speak then, for I felt my tongue was tied. But I was sane then as I am now. I was in the agony and despair for a long time after you left me. It seemed hours, then there came a sudden peace. My brain seemed to become cool again, and I realised where I was. He came to me then. You stifle a gasp. There can only be one individual to whom he is referring. He came up to the window in the mist, as I had seen him often before, but he was solid then, not a ghost, and his eyes were fierce like a man's when angry. He was laughing with his red mouth. The sharp white teeth glinted in the moonlight when he turned to look back over the belt of trees. I wouldn't ask him to come in at first, though I knew he wanted to, just as he wanted all along. Then he began promising me things, not in words, but by doing them. How? Asked the professor. And making them happen, just as he used to send in the flies when the sun was shining. Great big fat ones with steel and sapphire on their wings, and big moths in the night with skull and crossbones on their backs. Then he began to whisper, rats, 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 hundreds, thousands, millions of them, and every one alive, and dogs to eat them, and cats too, all lives, all red blood, with years of life in it, and not merely buzzing flies. I laughed at him, for I wanted to see what he could do.
Did you have sexual intercourse with Dracula?
He beckoned me to the window. I got up and looked out, and he raised his hands and seemed to call out without using any words. A dark mass spread over the grass, coming on like the shape of a flame and fire, and then he moved the mist to the right and left, and I could see that there were thousands of rats with their eyes blazing red, like his, only smaller. He held up his hand, and they all stopped, and I thought he seemed to be saying, all these lives will I give you, aye, and many more greater, through countless ages if you will fall down and worship me. A red cloud, like the colour of blood, seemed to close over my eyes, and before I knew what I was doing, I found myself opening the sash and saying to him, come in, Lord and Master.
Was that his dressing gown?
Come in, Lord and Master. The rats were all gone, but he slid into the room through the sash, though it was only open an inch wide.
Right.
Only an inch. Renfield's voice is becoming weaker, so Quincy moistens his lips with the brandy again.
Housing him
And
with him.
he
Keep drinking.
continues.
Good God.
But it seems as though his memory has gone on working in the interval.
Thank you for the brandy. I've now been breakfasted and will die.
Gone on working the interval for his story. As it advances
Something
further.
important to do before I die. I have been breakfasted.
All day I waited to hear from him, but he did not send me anything, not even a blowfly.
Poor guy.
And when the moon got up, I was pretty angry with him. When he slid in through the window, though it was shut, and did not even knock, I got mad with him. He sneered at me, and his white face looked out of the mist with his red eyes gleaming, and he went on as though he owed the whole place, and I was no one. He didn't even smell the same as he went by me. I couldn't hold him. I thought that somehow Mrs. Harker had come into the room. You managed to remain silent upon hearing this revelation, although your body starts to shake uncontrollably. What's he doing? So we let him in.
Yeah,
Renfield let him into his cell.
yeah.
Or room. Bedroom.
I
Cell.
think he's on about his cell because he's on about Dr. Seward. I'm guessing maybe there's more to this in Dr. Seward's character.
But since you
story.
let him in, he can now just come and go as he pleases.
Like through the whole asylum.
Well, just let him in, innit? When Mrs. Harker came in to see me this afternoon, she wasn't the same. It was like tea after the teapot had been watered. I didn't know that she was here till she spoke, and she didn't look the same. I don't care for pale people. I like them with lots of blood in them, and hers had all seemed to have run out. I didn't think of it at the time, but then when she went away, I began to think, and it made me mad to know that he had been taking the life out of her. So when he came tonight, I was ready for him. I saw the mist stealing in, and I grabbed it tight. I had heard that madmen have a natural strength, and as I knew I was a madman, at times anyhow, I resolved to use my power. Aye, and he felt it too, for he had come out of the mist to struggle with me. I held tight, and I thought I was going to win, for I didn't mean him to take any more of her life till I saw his eyes. They burned into me and my strength became like water. He slipped through it, and when I tried to cling to him, he raised me up and flung me down. There was a red cloud before me and a noise like thunder, and the mist seemed to steal away under the door.
Oh, he got messed up by Dracula, didn't it? His voice becoming fainter and breathing becoming more stertorous until his last breath escapes him as a gargling death rattle. We know the worst now, says Van Helsing, turning to address you all. He is here and we know his purpose. It may not be too late. Let us be armed, the same as we were the other night. Glad that you have grown into the habit of carrying your knife and revolver with you at all times now. You run from Renfield's cell after Van Helsing to take the stairs to the first floor, two at a time, arriving at the door to the room where Mina is sleeping there. Mere moments. Beware, the professor warns as you seize hold of the door handle. Alas, it is no common enemy we face. Turning the handle, the five of you burst into the room together. The scene that greets you appalls you. You feel the hackles on the back of your neck rise and the heart seem to stand still. In the moonlight, absolutely steaming, Count Dracula. In the moonlight, streaming through the window, you can see the white-clad figure of Mina kneeling on the edge of the bed, her face and the front of her nightdress filthy with blood. By her side stands a tall, thin man clad in black. It is the Count. As your party bursts into the room, the monster turns, his expression that of some hell-born demon. His eyes burst with devilish passion. His great nostrils and his white aquiline nose flare open, and the wide sharp teeth behind the full lips of blood-dripping mouth champ together like those of some wild beast. With a wrench, he throws his victim onto the bed and springs at you. Take an agility test. If you pass the test, turn to 724. So this is the picture here. We got Dracula there.
Look at his bod though.
An average bod, isn't it?
What bit of dog bod here?
Well, you got that right with the Gary Oldman rendition. He wasn't super ripped. So, agility test. 2 dice under. Yeah. 2 dice and we have to get under 9, right?
Yes.
We're dead. Right.
Wait, but did we fail? Oh, is this just a dream?
Well, we're going to find out what happens if we did fail. And we'll drink if it's catastrophic. You're not the only ones who are screaming. Yeah. He's got his vlogging camera. He can't see himself in it and no one can see him. They can just see his mustache.
Oh, okay. If we fail the test, we lose 3 endurance points.
Right.
Do you want to do that? Should we do
We've got our potions to drink, haven't we?
It's not potions, it's brandy. Okay, should we have a sip of brandy and keep going so we haven't lost anything?
Yeah, let's do that.
Right, we've got 3 shots of brandy left. The Count is fast as a striking cobra. He lands in front of you and with one swipe of his taloned hand sends you flying across the room and into the door frame. Lose 3 endurance points and turn to 790. Miso!
Hey, Misa, how you doing?
Oh.
790. How's the book going? Enjoying it? Yeah, we're loving it so far.
Yeah, it's
I
very,
feel like
very good.
we're potentially getting close to the end of Jonathan Harker's playthrough.
Yeah, but we thought that last time.
True. The professor is suddenly there in front of you, of the Count, the sacred wafer in his hand, which he holds out towards the monster. The Count stops abruptly and cowers back, and as the rest of you raise your silver crucifixes, he cowers back further still as you advance upon him. The moonlight suddenly fails as a great black cloud sails across the sky. When the gaslight springs up under Quincy's match a moment later, you see nothing but a faint vapour that trails out through the window and then it is gone. You rush forward to help Mina, who suddenly gives a scream so wild, so ear-piercing, and so despairing that it breaks your heart to hear it. You gather her up in your arms, and for a few seconds she lies there in helpless disarray. Her face is of ghastly pallor, which is only accentuated by the blood that smears her lips and cheeks and chin. From her throat trickles a thin stream of blood, and when you look into her eyes, you see that they are mad with terror. Are we too late? The professor cries, rushing forward, the sacred wafer still tight in his hand. I have to know. And with that, before you can stop him, he presses it against Mina's forehead. She gives another fearful scream and recoils in pain. Where the wafer touched her skin, it has burned her flesh as though it were a piece of white-hot metal. Mina sinks to her knees, sobbing and pulling her beautiful hair over her face and wails, "Unclean, I am unclean. Even the Almighty shuns my polluted flesh. I must bear this mark of shame upon my forehead until the judgment day." Falling to the floor beside her, consumed with impotent grief, you put your arms around her and hold her tight. For a few minutes your sorrowful hearts beat together, whilst your friends turn away, their eyes running with silent tears. Add 2 points to your terror score and gain 6 blood points.
Oh no!
So terror is now 19.
We can't get 6 blood points?
I think we must have to. He's powerful now, right?
That takes us up to 9. Or takes him up to 9.
That's not too bad. Okay, turn to 693. I think potentially in the final act now.
We aren't gonna pass them dice rolls.
That is a hard hit on multiple fronts.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. That wafer must not be long past its due
What
date.
is the wafer?
I'm picturing like one of those, like, do you know those things that you have ice cream in, those little oyster shells?
Oh yeah,
I'm
they're
picturing
good.
one of them.
No, the things that stick in the top of ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
something like that,
yeah.
yeah. And now she's got like on a burnt into her head.
Oh no. Did you say 693?
I think it was 697. I don't know.
Oh no, I think this is right. It may be that you have to bear that mark till God himself sees fit to redress all the wrongs of the earth and of his children, Van Helsing says gravely. And oh, Madam Mina, my dear, may we who love you be there when the red scar passes away and leaves your forehead as pure as the heart we know.
This big. The giant wafer.
Till then we must bear our cross, as his son did in obedience to his will. It may be that we are chosen instruments of his good pleasure, and that we ascend to his bidding, through tears and blood, through doubts and fears, and all that makes the difference between God and man. If you wish to continue the story as Jonathan, turn to 24, you can continue as Mina, or you can go as Dr. John Seward, but we're going to go as John.
So 24.
24.
It should be a small circular piece of something like bread using
Anglican?
ritual reflecting the Last Supper and breaking
Oh,
bread.
is that when like they go the body of Christ? And
So
then
we put a little crouton on his
the
head.
blood of Christ, and then you have a bit of
Yeah.
wine.
Yeah, and you get absolutely smashed. And then you got to put your $100 note into the tip jar.
About $3.50. So they can buy all the bread and wine. What do you think?
Of course,
Who
for the
pays
next
for
time.
it?
Of course. There is no time to lose, and your situation has become even more desperate as the longer you take to find the remaining boxes of earth, the greater the risk that your dear wife could become like poor Lucy Westenra, or one of the weird sisters you fell prey to while imprisoned within Castle Dracula.
Oh no!
Oh, weird
Gotta get
sisters.
sucked every night.
Freaky. Can't
Please,
stand
no.
those. Can't stand those weird sisters. You listening, Mina?
That's a
Fortunately,
new nightgown.
now I've got 4 vampire women. Fortunately, you are sure you know where the remaining 21 boxes have been taken to the very properties you helped the Count acquire, and are located in London districts of Piccadilly, Walworth and Mile End. Turn to 84.
I think the house in Piccadilly is key, Professor Van Helsing says.
Van Helsing, you find these ones, I'll find the 17 female coffins.
When the 6 of you meet again later that morning in the study that has become the vampire hunter's makeshift committee room.
Wow.
Oh yeah. He must have many belongings hidden somewhere, and why not somewhere so central, so quiet?
Those weird women really suck. Always do.
Is that Kermit?
It's Cornwall.
Hello, Kermit.
Hello.
He must have many belongings hidden somewhere, and why not somewhere so central, so quiet, and from where he can come and go by the front or back at all hours. I think we should search there. But what of the properties in Walworth and Mile End? Asks Arthur. We cannot risk leaving any earths for that old fox to run to. Professor, if you would go to the house in Piccadilly, I volunteer to search the Walworth address. Then I will visit Mile End, says Quincy. Then it's decided, says the Professor. We will split up, and between us we ensure that the fiend has nowhere left to hide on English shores. Van Helsing turns to you. I would appreciate your help at the house in Piccadilly, he says. Will you accompany me there? Where do you want to... This is cool. Where do you want to visit and with whom? So you can go to Piccadilly with Van Helsing, which I vote for. Walworth with Lord Godalming, or Mile End with Quincy.
I feel like
That's the obvious
Van
choice.
Helsing is going to be the most interesting.
Yeah.
Quincy is a character I actually want to know what his deal is. Lord Godalming, I feel like we'll be there just to make sure he doesn't die. But let's just go with Van Helsing.
First playthrough will be basic. Stick to it.
Yeah, we'll stick. I mean, he's the vampire hunter dude.
Okay, 741.
Anyone know where Bram Stoker is from? Are they from like England? Is that why it's sort of based around London areas? So Piccadilly with Van Helsing, 741.
I wonder if that actually changes anything if you go to those different areas.
Maybe you get to go to war. It probably doesn't. Ireland. Okay, cool.
Ooh.
I will go with you, you tell the professor, and the broad smile spreads across his face in response. And so it is agreed. While you and Van Helsing make your way to the Piccadilly property, between them, the others will visit the other properties in Walworth and Mile End in search of missing boxes of Transylvanian soil. Upon reaching the corner of Arlington Street, you exit the cab hired upon arriving at Fenchurch Street Station, and the two of you stroll into the Green Park, trying to blend in with the members of the general public, partaking in their daily constitutional in the afternoon sunshine. Your pulse quickens as you catch sight of the house on which your hopes are centered. It looms grim and silent in its deserted condition amongst its more lively and spruce-looking neighbours. Choosing your moment, you and the professor approach the front door, taking out a bunch of skeleton keys and selecting one. Van Helsing slides it into the lock. After fumbling about for a bit, he tries a second and then a third. At the fourth attempt, all at once, the door opens at a slight push, and the two of you enter the hallway beyond. The place smells vile, like the old chapel car factory.
No, don't start that again.
Well, it's a double whammy because the door creaked and there's a putrid odour. A staircase ascends and descends through the Piccadilly property. You decide to split up so you may search the house more quickly. Where you begin your search?
Why would we split up? You wouldn't.
No. Carmilla, a vampire story that preceded Dracula, was always written by an Irish person. Really? What was like the very first Dracula story, or like vampire story origins? Before he wrote the book, he was the head of Lyceum Theatre in London. Wow. Interesting. So the basement, the ground floor, the first floor, the second floor, the
That's
attic.
a lot of searching. Is he not in the basement? Would be where you would.
I would say the basement, but potentially maybe we should go from the top down. I don't know if there's going to be multiple copies.
That in the attic?
Should we checkpoint it? And go
Yeah.
through?
What's the page number?
741. So
I've written like a weird map, which is like each layer of the house.
okay, so let's go to the attic first then.
Yes.
3,
So
2,
at the
3.
top.
Hey you two, how are things and what are we doing?
Oh,
today?
hey, Spelting!
We are currently on part 5 of our playthrough of the RPG game book Dracula Curse of the Vampire by Jonathan Green. It's essentially a retelling of the Bram Stoker novel, but choose your own adventure, and it's pretty awesome. We're playing as Jonathan Harker, but you can swap out characters between Mina, Dr. Seward, and Dracula himself.
Varney the vampire.
Cornelia and Varney the Vampire.
Cornelius, say that.
I'm interested in Robert Eggers' new Werewolf film. That should be quite good.
Right, so we're going to start in the attic.
Mm-hmm.
Climbing all the way... Excuse me. Climbing all the way to the top of the house, you enter the cramped attic space. There's more furniture here kept under cobweb dust sheets, and you can make out where you are going quite easily as light enters the loft through a series of smeary windows. You dare risk lifting a few of the sheets to see precisely what it is they are enshrouding, but you find only chairs, tables, and bookshelves. As you're about to go back downstairs, something fluttering against the window in the far corner of the attic attracts your attention. If you want to take a closer look, turn to 293. If you'd prefer to go back downstairs and search somewhere else, turn to 273.
Let's check it out. 293.
It's gonna be a bat and he's gonna come in.
Did you say Beowulf? No, werewolf. Like it's like werewolf with a U, I think. I think it's like a old German werewolf origin story. Sort of thing. I don't know. 293. As you draw closer, you see that it is a moth, an Achyontra atropos, or Death's Head moth. To be precise, named thus because of the likeness of the skull and crossbones on these Lepidoptera on their backs. The insect is beating its wings uselessly against the glass, with no comprehension of the fact that its efforts to break free are futile. A second death head moth suddenly joins at the window, and then another. Hearing a great serration behind you as thousands of fluttering insects, you turn to see a great mass of moths emerge from the shadows of the attic behind you. They batter you with their furry bodies, alighting on you and crawling all over your face as if to smother you. Take a terror test.
Well, this is taking a turn.
It has, but it's interesting. I like it.
You like it?
It's
I didn't know those moths were real. Are they real? The ones with like the skull on them?
Yeah, the
Oh,
sounds
that's
in the lab.
cool. I didn't know they were real.
I tried reading Varney the Vampire. It's quite slowly turned into a comedy at a certain point. Can't really though. So these were pre-Dracula. How old is it? Okay, here we go.
4 dice. We've got to get. Oh, is it?
Below 19.
Yeah, below.
No, higher than 19.
Yeah, higher than 19. We're gonna die.
Roll it.
Roll it.
4 twos. Ah. Okay, so what are we doing?
Failing a terror test.
Okay, I'm gonna see what happens.
Yes.
If you fail the test, turn to 374.
We're gonna die.
We haven't yet.
Yeah, but moths are gonna suffocate us.
Several moths are trying to crawl up your nose as soon as your mouth. As you open your mouth to give an involuntary cry of horror, several more scuttle between your lips, and by the time you hear nothing but the amplified buzzing of flutter of their wings in your ears, add 1 point to your terror score and turn to 224. So
Should we reroll?
no, let's have the score
Oh.
and we'll do it. 224.
Yeah, that means we've got to somehow.
Well, we got some terror cheese somewhere.
Oh, we do have some terror cheese.
Terror goes up to 20.
Cool. Where is the dream cheese?
I think it's inside the 3D printer somewhere.
Why have you locked it in there like a cursed object?
I actually don't know. No, I don't know where the dream cheese is.
Whiskey's probably eating it.
He might have done. It's gone.
Brushing the moths away from you, you rush back down the stairs and are relieved when the insects do not follow. Turn to 273. Well, that was a waste, so we don't need to go in the attic. I'll put a little cross there. We know we need to go to the basement. Your
Do we?
camera's doing a very weird focus.
Is it?
It's stopped now.
What was it doing?
See?
It's auto focusing.
Oh. And carry on.
Auto focus. I wonder if it works with this. Kinda.
Oh, that's like the moth skull.
Yeah. Choosing somewhere you haven't been already, where do you want to explore next? Should we go from the top?
Down to the second floor then?
Second floor.
Even though it's probably...
We don't know for certain. do
Yeah,
we?
we might pick an
What's the
item
floor?
in this
Yeah.
house that we might need. Oh, I've just got Thorm's comment. You've made a mistake.
Where's that? Oh, okay.
Like, what do you mean?
Okay. 434.
On the second floor, you find nothing but a number of dusty bedrooms and notice that in some the mirrors have been turned to face the wall. If you want to spend more time conducting a thorough search of the bedrooms, turn to 404, or if you'd rather look elsewhere, turn to 273. We want to have a look. We want to have a little nosy.
404?
404.
Curious on how long it took Jonathan Green to blueprint and write this book. It was very...
Got me like 2 years.
Entering one room, you are taken aback to see what looks like a body lying on the bed, covered by a dirty sheet. Do you want to approach the bed and pull back the sheet, turn to 343, or leave the room?
You wouldn't though.
We can take a hefty chunk of drink after these rooms and maybe take our terror score down with the chillness we've got from drinking.
This is the thing. Like this will probably put our terror score up.
That's what I'm saying. We took the checkpoint, so we just drink our forfeit and take it down. Maybe we'll find a crispy side.
Is this one of Dracula's houses then?
And it's one of the ones he's bought. The vampire predates this 80 years, which comes from some contest between the writers that have produced. Wow. Yeah. You're looking for vampires, so maybe I would look under the sheet. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
We can take those terror points back.
Your heart thudding within your chest, you draw back the sheet. You cannot stop the gasp of fear that escapes your lips as you lay eyes upon the wizened thing that is lying on the bed.
What is it?
In the brief glimpse you take in before you flee the chamber in horror, you believe it's the body of an old man, but it looks like it's been entirely drained of blood. In that split second's look, you see the contours of the skeleton beneath the emaciated husk of the man quite clearly. Add 1 point to your terror score and turn to 270. So we don't want to go on the second floor.
No.
Why is it not got any like? Do you want to search the drawers in the room?
Because there's nothing worth using.
We don't know. We haven't looked.
First floor, 542.
It's got to be something up here.
It can't all be bad encounters. Most of the rooms on the first floor are empty. The few pieces of furniture you do find draped in heavy dust sheets. However, at the back of the house you come across a study which looks like one of the cabinets of curiosities that were popular a century ago. A large glass-fronted piece of furniture that is a cross between a display case and a bookcase dominates one wall, and in front of it is a desk piled with papers that is as cluttered as the cabinet. You see animal skulls, intriguing fossils, geode, a piece of meteorite, polished fans of coral, West African carved figurines, and a plethora of oricurios. If you want to enter the cabinet of curiosities and take a closer look, turn the 523. It's probably not a voodoo doll, but let's
go
do
in.
523.
I feel like you would actually look in this place because it would be interesting.
Yeah. Have any of you guys read the Strain, like the book that Del Toro made into a series? I want to know if the book's any good.
Entering the study, you realise that there are a variety of living things amongst the items on display. There's a glass jar containing a soupy green liquid that looks like a stagnant pond water, which is full of writhing black leeches.
Oh, maybe not.
Another container covered with a fine mesh netting to which cling dozens, if not hundreds, of mosquitoes, and a vivarium containing a dead rat seething with blood-sucking ticks. On the desk, ticks. On the desk in front of the cabinet is the skeleton of a bat poised on a stand with the finger bones of its wings outstretched. You also see the leathery body of a lamprey pinned out on a fluid-stained board, apparently mid-dissection. In addition, there is a pile of newspaper clippings and a black velvet bag embroidered with gold thread. But it is what you see resting on the floor under the table that fascinates you the most. It looks like a large fish tank, but you can see nothing through the inky water filling it. Do you want to Flick through the newspaper clippings.
Mm-hmm.
Examine the black velvet bag. Take a closer look at the fish tank under the table. Or leave the study and search elsewhere.
I want to do all of those things.
Me too.
We've got the checkpoint for, like, before we'd made any of these decisions, so we can go back.
You know what we also have?
What?
Checkpoint 523,
Yeah,
baby.
we can check all of these.
Newspaper clippings.
Should we go for the big time first?
Oh, okay. You're going straight.
We go for the fish tank. No, actually, no.
Straight to the main event. No foreplay.
Actually, no. Let's go for the foreplay first. Let's go for the newspaper.
Yeah,
clippings
start
first.
with the clippings.
Yeah. 484. Everyone needs a hobby. Someone has taken the trouble to cut out a series of articles from various different local and national newspapers. Among them is one about a Russian schooner that run aground on the North Yorkshire coast in Whitby, dated 8th of August, and another from a Pall Mall Gazette, dated 18th September, regarding a wolf escaping from London Zoo, and a third bearing a lurid headline, Bloofer Lady Strikes Again. I don't know what that is. What do you want to do now? Choosing something you haven't done already. So that wasn't worth it. Black velvet bag.
Yeah.
454. It's like gonna have like surgical things in it, possibly. I want to know who's actually doing that. Who's this house and been like chopping things up?
Dracula.
You think? Well, no, because he went like straight to.
Yeah, but
Oh,
you can flit around really quick.
Yeah, true.
You've got to fill his time doing something.
Yeah. Did he knit that gold thread into his pack?
Yeah. You pick up the cloth bag and immediately feel how heavy it is, and hear a jangling sound. Intrigued, you open it to find several antique coins. You believe they are golden.
Maybe ones from before.
I
I don't know why
we
Dracula.
got silver
Yeah,
coins.
they still do it.
On one side, they are stamped with the image of a serpent or a dragon. On the other, there is a shield split vertically with a crescent moon and 6-rayed star below it on the left-hand field. Inside the second field, 3 horizontal bars. Around the edge of a coat of arms, in Cyrillic letters, is the legend Vlad Voivod. If you want to take the golden ducats with you, record them in the equipment box, yes.
Yeah, why not?
And we can still search the fish tank. Do you want to do it?
Let's do it. Why not? Probably going to be bad. What's going to be in there?
A fish.
Piranha. A head. I'm just picturing the thingy from Walking Dead there. All the fish tanks all heads in it.
Oh no.
There.
Not there.
Read it anyway. We can go back.
Are we gonna do it anyway?
Let me write this in first. What do I need to add?
Gold ducats. I don't know, they are coins.
Gold caps.
Ducats.
If that's spelt wrong, it doesn't matter.
Alright, so we're not gonna do this, are we?
We're not going to do this in the story, but we are too curious to see, so we are going to do it anyway.
We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway.
Okay. Getting down on your hands and knees, you peer over the rim of the fish tank.
We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it
Sing
anyway.
into the fish tank as we approach it on
We're
our
gonna
hands
do
and
it
knees.
The stink of the filthy water makes you recoil. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just as something launches itself out of the tank straight at you.
A piranha with a face of Barry.
The thing is composed of a gelatinous crimson body
Ooh,
and,
ice cream.
and 8 arms connected by a webbing of skin.
Oh.
This.
Is this some
They're
kind of
like an
mutation?
axolotl. Having no warning of the creature's imminent attack, it manages to latch its rubbery limbs onto your sword arm, and you cry out in pain as the rows
Oh,
of
we're going to lose a combat score.
Yeah. rows of. This is why we're not going to do
Oh,
it.
yeah, yeah.
We're
not
just going to do it
Yeah.
anyway. The rows of fleshy spines that line each one dig into your skin. You manage to pull the horror from you with your free hand, and it plops back into the tank, sloshing water over the floorboards. Whatever the creature has done to you leaves a lingering, tingling numbness. Deduct 2 endurance points and 1 combat point. It is then that you notice the smudged label on the side of the tank that reads Vampire Retoothis Infernalis. Not wanting to fall foul of the vampire squid from hell a second time, you decide to vacate the study as quickly.
I'm glad. I was trying to read what that was called, and I was just glad it wasn't called like octopus or something.
Why? What would be wrong with that?
It would be very stupid of Count Dracula. Then again,
Oh,
He's got
vampire squid.
Vamp Dog, Vamptoctopus.
Right, we're gonna go leave the study and search elsewhere.
Yes.
That's what we actually did instead of looking at the tank.
We got Vamptoctopus.
We did. After we were breakfasted.
We're breakfasted and we've been pussed.
It's gotta be Sunday. Choosing somewhere you haven't been already, where do you want to explore next? So we've done the first, second, attic.
And so was it ground floor?
Ground floor and basement.
Ground floor's got to be safe, right?
253. Did we gain? Oh, we got gold.
Yeah. Where was that from?
First floor.
If you have the code word Eventer, which I don't think we do, turn to 667. If not, turn to 711. It is in the dining room, which... What? It is in the dining room, which lies off the hall at the back of the house where you find... You're reading too fast.
No, I get excited.
Where you find 8 boxes, like those you found in the unhallowed chapel of Carfax House. The dust-covered dining tables and chairs have been moved to the edges of the room to accommodate them. If you want to proceed to deal with the boxes as required, turn to 677. If you prefer to continue searching the property with the intention of returning here later.
Should we go and search the basement and come back?
Yeah, just in case, yeah.
Fun fact, there's an actual thing called a vampire squid. I feel like I've heard of a vampire squid before.
Ooh. What does it do?
I'm thinking of like lampreys though. Have you seen the lampreys? You know, like a circle mouth and they got those teeth out. Like.
Probably, yeah. In the dining room in the lead pipe, yeah. With Colonel Mustard. Alright, we have supper here first. We'll come back for it later. So
we're gonna go to the basement
yeah,
first.
yeah. 699.
699. You are sure that the house has more secrets that have yet to be discovered, and so you return to the hall.
Oh, what if they're awake when we go back in?
Tick off the code word inventor and turn to 273, noting that you can now revisit the ground floor when you're ready. That's good.
Okay, I was just thinking like they might all like walk up from their coffins with that code.
Inventor.
We're going to 273 now. So we want to go to the basement, 656.
There's got to be like some wooden stakes down here.
We've already got some. I wish John Green would give us a new edition to
maybe
Final
he's
Fantasy.
working on one.
Yeah, he could even be potentially working with Steve and Ian on a separate thing, you don't know.
Excuse me.
I can't remember what page it is.
Go back to 273.
656.
Was it not 657?
No, this is right. As you make your way down the servant stairs into the basement of the house, the terrible smell permeating the place worsens until you feel your gorge rise and worry that you might retch at any moment. If you want to persist with your investigation of the basement, turn to 2626.
That's a warning.
It is, but we got the checkpoint.
But we're gonna do
We're
it
gonna do it
anyway.
anyway.
We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do
I'm no
it
expert in
anyway.
vampire squid, but from some quick reading, they seem to be basically deep sea relatives of squid with some bioluminescence and with
Ooh.
spine and detail.
Just one more reason to not go in the sea.
Yes.
Half expecting to find the undercroft of the house flooded with the raw sewage, you enter a mouldering wine cellar and almost step in the mess of offal and intestines covering the floor in a slick of stinking viscera. Lying on the packed earth floor is the eviscerated corpse of some unidentifiable wretch, his face frozen in a rictus of terror, his glazed eyes no doubt still staring at his killer, even though he is long gone from this place. Take a terror test.
Right. We're dropping our terror back down by 2
Why?
because we weren't doing those things. We had the checkpoint.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do that.
I watched Edra Tales streams on Wednesday night, and sometimes Jonathan Green lets slip some of the stuff he's working on. What's Edra Tales stream? Who's Edra Tales?
Yeah, I'm gonna see take a terror test.
Right, 19. Here we go.
You can do it.
6.
I can't do it.
What happens if we fail?
If we fail, you are shocked by your discovery. You run from the cellar, wailing in terror, and climb the servant stairs 2 at a time to the ground floor, and we add a point to our terror.
We kind of want to find out what's down there, don't
Should we see what happens if we pass the test?
Yeah, just in case it's actually worthwhile doing. Got to be something. Edra Tale is a guy called Ken. I met him at FFF5, if you remember. Can't quite remember.
No.
Why does Jonathan Green stop by his streams?
I feel like I remember the name Ken.
Can't remember.
Right, so nothing happens if we pass or fail. We just gain terror if we fail. If you pass, you just go back upstairs.
Alright, let's do that.
So
Let's
273.
So let's go back to the Invictus, what it's called, Inventus page.
Yeah, so the only thing you actually gain from this house is
It looks
the
like
gold.
you're getting close to the point where terror tests are unwinnable. Yeah, I mean we can get 24 if we're very lucky.
We did make some really rubbish decisions like at the start of the book as well, where we probably gained like 6 or 7 terror points.
He's buddies with JG and Ken was a volunteer at FFF4. Oh, Steve, are you on about the guy who was staying in the hotel with us, who was running a game in like the lobby? That guy.
Moving ground floor, 253.
If you have the code word Inventia ticked off, turn to 677.
Yeah, do.
The professor joins you in the dining room. Even though you know what to expect when you open the boxes this time, it does not mean your heart does not beat a tattoo against the cage of its ribs. 8 boxes could mean that you could have to deal with 8 of your Transylvanian undead, so you have to decide not to advance your plan any further until the others have joined you. While you are waiting, keeping a wary eye on the damp smelling crates or any sign of movement, you open a window that looks out across the stone flagged yard at the blank face of a stable pointed to look like the front of a miniature house. As the sun's orbit carries its light across the back of the house, a beam of sunlight strikes one of the wooden boxes. Almost at once you hear the scraping sound coming from inside the box, followed by a succession of rasping cries from half a dozen others. You take up your tools of death just in time. The first one is broken open by whatever lies within, and another and another. In an explosion of earth and enormous splinters, 6 pallid corpses burst from their wooden prisons. Add 1 to your terror score.
We can't! We didn't die.
If you want to use the Penny's mightier special ability, we got 2 left.
We got 2 left.
Could we do it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. 976. We got 1 remaining.
We've got a lot of endurance though, and we've got some brandy, so we don't need to. But...
Yeah.
But do you want to do it anyway?
Let's do it. No, that's another guy called Julian. Julian streamed on Thursday night. Oh, okay. Do you have like an FF stream like every night of the week to watch?
Cross off one use of the pen's mightier. As the risen dead stalk towards you with jerky, slack-jointed steps, you look for something else about your person that might repel the unholy horrors. How many of the following items do you have in your possession?
Okay, one
Open
second.
up the box.
What's in the box?
The box.
Okay,
Golden crucifix.
1.
Good luck tokens.
I'm guessing some rabbit's foot. 2.
Mm,
It's a
Yeah.
yeah.
holy water.
Yeah.
Yes. Silver crucifix.
Yeah.
Garlic garland.
Yeah.
Sacred water.
Yeah.
How many?
6.
Oh, sacred wafer, not water. 6. 6 10 to 896. That's like a page on its own.
8, 9, 6.
Come on. I wish. Maybe we should just do it every night of the week.
No, absolutely not.
That's absolutely not.
If this was our job, then absolutely. Confronted by a plethora of holy symbols, sacred artifacts, and superstitious charms, all 3 Strigoi retreat from you. I thought there were 6 of them. And you press home your attack. As you advance upon them, their leathery skin blackens like charred parchment, and their flesh withers, while their bones beneath crumble to dust. Restore 1 use
Oh,
of the penny's mighty special ability in 10
Oh, we had stuff anyway, so we didn't need to use it.
Nice.
That's good. I thought it would have made you waste it.
Yeah, no, that's good.
A little bit of kindness.
So I'm guessing you would have wasted it if you didn't have all of that equipment.
Yeah, I guess so. You have granted the corpses true death at last, and Van Helsing, you are relieved to see, has done the same. All that there remains for you to do is purify the soil of Dracula's homeland, while you wait for your friends to arrive. Within half an hour, the rest of your party has joined you inside the house at 138 Piccadilly. Lord Godalming reports that there were 6 boxes of earth at the Walmouth address, and that the undead creatures nailed up inside them were destroyed when exposed to sunlight. Quincy Morris then explains that the bodies in the boxes that had been stored in the old printer's warehouse in Mile End had already been eaten by a pack of rats. Did rats eat vampire corpses? The diet of corrupted flesh having had an equally corrupting effect on the rodents. So 6 boxes at the Walmouth property, says Professor, another 6 in Mile End, and 8 boxes
Right,
here.
so that's what, 8, 6.
20. That's 1 box left.
Is that Dracula's box?
With a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach, you already know what he's going to say next before he says it, which means there is still 1 outstanding from the original 50 Dracula had transported to England. 1 box that has somehow escaped detection, but where can it be? Take an ESP test. If you pass the test, turn to 794.
You need to pass this one. That's impressive. You're
9.
basically an anti-walking. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
what it feels like to have a good run in Vampire Survivors. It was good, great timing on Wednesday. The stream ended at the same time Ken started. What was Ken's dreaming?
Nice.
Okay,
Ready? Why are you rolling 2?
I did it. What score is it again? EXP.
Yeah, you need to roll just 1.
Oh, I was rolling 4.
You say I did it, as you.
Yeah.
I did it. Oh, that's good. At least we passed. First test into 794. Ooh!
I don't know how the book ends, so I don't know like how far away or how tough the battle is. Inexplicably, you sense that the 5 of you have company in the house. Someone or something else is here. You take a step back from the door to the hall a moment before it flies open and something as black as the lift as a panther bounds into the room. 648. Lift? Live?
I don't know, actually.
It was a zombie game but called Bite the Hand. Oh, cool. How is that? Is that a good one? Is it better than the Ian Livingstone one? What's the one you read? You had a zombie choose your own adventure.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember what it's called though. There is something so inhuman about the figure's movement that it sobers you up from the shock of its unexpected arrival.
A panther jumping out of a closet.
No, it's saying it's as black as a panther.
What is this big?
Yeah. But before any of you can so much as raise a hand to stop him, he lashes out, sending Arthur and Quincy flying to opposite corners of the room before they can even draw their weapons, and sweeps the other vampire hunters aside with a lightning-fast attack that leaves them all reeling until you are the last man standing. The Count... Is this the page?
Must be. No, I think so. Show it anyway.
Gonna show it anyway.
We're
Oh,
gonna do
infected.
it anyway.
Yeah, that
We're
was
gonna
it.
do it
Steve.
Tell me what
anyway.
the tree was infected.
We're gonna do
Got
I
your
think
own
I...
Tipsy
I think I died, like, the first, like, within
you
the first
finish
few
it?
pages. No. It was well
You
hard.
still got it?
Okay, I think I still got it.
Maybe we should have a look at it.
Yeah, we
sometime.
should. We probably do a lot better than I did. The Count is suddenly there before you, and a snarl passes over his face, revealing pointed, elongated eye teeth. For all his
Eye teeth?
yeah, eye teeth. For all his veneer of noble breeding, you see him for what he really is, a bestial monster that lives only to hunt and steal the lives of others. Take a terror test.
Uh-oh. We're going to pass this one.
If you pass the test, turn to 686. You
Right.
mean we're gonna pass it?
We're going to pass it anyway.
We're gonna pass it anyway.
And really, where is my dream cheese? What could have possibly
I don't
happened?
know,
to
but
the
I'm gonna
dream cheese?
re-roll this for you now.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Eye
Oh.
teeth, canines.
Ooh.
You go. What we on?
11. We can't do it.
West.
We'll both have to drink and re-roll.
He probably did, but it was made of plastic, so yeah, we're gonna have to re-roll this one. We're just gonna roll those three again.
Yes. 10. I
10.
need
So
10
we need
more.
10 more. And a 5.
Ooh.
What do we re-roll? The green 4.
Ooh, go on then. What do we need? Just a 5?
Yeah.
Oh, you roll your
I'm nearly out already. This has felt like a very fast stream though.
Don't re-roll my green one.
It's back there.
Ooh.
You roll my 3-1 again.
Okay.
Brandy looking awfully pale, yeah. Down to our last. We've been diluting it with water and clear substances.
What?
It's taking us weeks. We need 5, don't we?
Yes.
I'm going to take you a green one this time.
Oh, why? That's the lucky one. See?
Yay!
Oh, you think I do that? It hurts to drink that because of the ginger beer.
The spiciness of it. Yay, we did it.
I told you the greens were lucky. If you pass the terror test into 686, you're spicy.
6. Snarling like a caged beast, his face twisting into a demonic visage, Dracula attacks. If you want to use the penny's mightier speciality, you can.
Should we use it? We got two.
Use
We got
it.
two to
You-
use.
Surely you can't just avoid the final fight, so it can't be the final.
657.
First time, yeah, we got it, Tom. Don't worry. Magic of editing. We should really get a green dice box and we can just green screen the whole thing.
We could pre-record the dice rolls,
Actually, I could.
and then you could like select the. You could be like, oh, I want to roll a 12, and then you could just press 12 on the stream
Yeah.
deck, and then we could roll a 12.
The penis mic. But if that was a green screen in there, we could make a really cool like portal thing and have like opposite dice, and we could like throw them into a portal.
I think it's this page. I hope it is. Suddenly, Professor Van Helsing is at your side, crucifix in hand, as he chants, Agnus Dei qui tollis peccata mundu dona eis
Oh,
requiem.
we've just opened up the Evil Dead book.
Yeah, it is as if even just the sight of the crucifix and the sound of the holy Latin words cause the vampire pain, and he recoils physically, hissing and spitting like a wildcat. Cross off one use of Pennis
So we
Mightier.
still have 1 remaining.
Yeah, and turn to 587. The pen is mightier.
587.
Private setting. Did you ever go to penisland.com when
Yeah.
you were a child?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't a child. I remember it in
I was
school.
a child.
Penisland.com.
Yeah. Is it still up?
Not trying it. And it's lemonparty.org as well.
I didn't try that one.
Have yourself lucky. Recovering themselves, your fellow vampire hunters rally and advance on the Count. Crucifixes and wafers held out before him, while Van Helsing intones the words of the exorcism prayer in Latin. The Count's face twists into an expression of baffled hatred and hellish rage as he cowers before the sacred symbols and his waxy skin acquires a vile jaundice hue. The next instant, with a sinuous dive, he flies across the room and throws himself at the unshuttered window. Amidst the crash and glitter of falling glass, he tumbles into the stone-flagged yard below. You join the others in running to the window, and you can see your quarry spring unhurt from the ground. Crossing the yard, he pushes the open stable door, but there hesitates and turns. You think you can confound my plans? You shall be sorry, each one of you. You think you have left me without a place of rest, but I have more. My revenge has just begun. It is a plan I have devised over centuries, and time is on my side. Your girls that you all love are mine already, and through them you and others shall become my creatures yet, to do my bidding and to be my jackals when I want to feed. And then he passes quickly through the door and is gone.
Why? Why
So-
did we let him go?
Steve, if you're still there, how much do you think we have left? If we stick as Jonathan Harker, we might potentially have to wrap this up as the Count is Leon Kennedy.
Oh, we've got a Jonathan Green page. Not Jonathan Green page.
Jonathan Harker
page.
I never got. Wow.
So what do we do?
Was your fear level too high? So go on, explain it. 9, 10.
So we got to 9:10, and there's this little symbol of a
There is
cross.
a bit to go. Okay.
So that means we add 10 to the page number? Or do we just go to page 10?
No, we add 10 to it, I think. Just check.
Add 10 to the number instead of reading the section.
Okay.
So we go to 9:20.
Do that then, yeah.
9:20! Oh no. I just saw something there. You want to read it?
Yeah.
Although you all set off in pursuit, you find the stable door is bolted, and by the time you manage to force it open, the Count has fled, leaving no sign of his passing. It is late afternoon and sunset. How's he got that in the sun? Has he got a sun hat on?
He's sparkling.
It is late afternoon and sunset is not far off. With heavy hearts you have to accept that the game is up. Let us go back to Madame Mina, Van Helsing says. All we can do now is done, and we can there at least protect her. But we need not despair, there is but one more box of earth, and we must not rest until we find it. When that is done, all may yet be well. You know that the Professor is trying to offer you comfort as best he can, but having battled the Count inside the house, only for him to escape you once again, you feel the weight of your grief overcome you, and cannot help but give voice to a groan of despair as you think of your wife and what the monster has done to her. Catching your reflection in the blade of your knife, you are shocked into inaction. Yesterday you could have considered yourself a generally happy-looking man, with a strong, youthful face, full of energy, and with a mane of dark brown hair. Today you barely recognise yourself. It is as if you're looking into the face of your father. You have acquired the appearance
Face of your father.
of a drawn, haggard old man, your white head of hair matching well.
Oh, there's an explanation. for
Yeah,
my
with
face.
the hollow, burning
Look
eyes
further in though.
and grief-written lines etched into your face. Add 1 point to your terror score
Oh.
and deduct 1 point
Not from combat.
agility score,
Because we're getting old. Oh, this is like seafood.
and
Go on.
deduct 1 point from your combat score.
No.
Yes. With sad hearts, your party returns to Carfax Asylum, where you find Mina waiting for you with an appearance of cheerfulness that does her bravery and unselfishness honour, but when she sees you, the colour drains from her face. For a second or two, she closes her eyes as if in secret prayer before opening them again. I can never thank you all enough, she says. Taking your grey head in her hands, she kisses you. Whispering through her tears, oh,
Wait, there's more.
oh, my poor darling. Turn to 951.
Okay,
No!
write the page down. 951. So, this is going to be the end of part 5. Originally, I did think we would potentially be finishing it this time, but I think this has actually worked out really well time-wise for a good plot progression. I think leaving it here, we're probably going to be wrapping it up in the next part for Jonathan Harker's story. So, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys are still enjoying the story unfold, and we will be back with part 6 very soon. So, I hope you guys enjoy it, and yeah, see you then.